Sorry, late today. Just trying to get everything going for the show tonight. I haven't heard from the guest, Jim Robershaw, the happily angry lawyer. Hopefully, he'll call in. Last week, he was here. I had all kinds of computer equipment, and we couldn't do a show. And we did talk last night about the show today, after the Bettero show last night on X, on Twitter, in preparation for the show tonight, so I thought he would definitely be here, but he hasn't shown up tonight. So we're still waiting. I figured I would just start anyways, and this might be a quick show. Who knows? If he doesn't show, I don't have too much planned. We could definitely talk about Courtney and Elizabeth Proctor on WCVB Channel 5 today. I don't know if you all saw that, but wow. Wow. Oh, poor us. Poor us. I don't see how WCVB Channel 5 can put that on the air and not air Michael Proctor's statements. What a fraudulent station that is. What a fraudulent reporter that is right there. He airs this thing with Michael Proctor's sister and wife, mentions, oh, he sent some text messages, but doesn't actually say what they were. Doesn't actually say, even if you have to bleep it out. Should have played. I mean, everybody in the world has the audio when Jackson is making him repeat the words in his text. Channel 5 could have run that tonight. They didn't. They chose not to. What a fraudulent station. What a fraud. Yeah, poor media ethics. What a joke. Yeah, go check it out, WCVB. You want a good laugh tonight. Elizabeth, and he's such a coward too. This coward doesn't have the balls to go up and like Bettero said, he should have already done this at trial, looked at her and said, "I'm sorry for what I did." He should have said it to directly to Karen. Karen, I'm sorry. Instead, he sends out his wife and his sister like a true coward, crying on WCVB. Yeah, definitely Channel 5 is in their pocket. Mr. Henning, Greg Henning, son of Doug Henning. Greg Henning is an attorney who ran for district attorney in Boston, Suffolk County. Almost won. He was a front runner when Rachel Rollins actually won the open seat. It was a race between Rachel and Henning. Greg Henning is his name, and he had all the contributions from all the Boston police. He was a big supporter of the Boston police. So all the Boston police, when they get in a jam, they ever get in trouble, they call up attorney Greg Henning, and he is the attorney that WCBB has as their top legal analyst. So you already know they're crooked right there. And he is the son of a former news broadcaster in Boston, Doug Henning. I don't know if people remember him. I remember him. Oh, they're totally in the pocket. I just threw in the chat. I threw let me pin it too. If you want, anyone wants to call in, we got less viewers tonight. There's a lot of other shows going on right now. If you want to call in tonight, let me turn this down. Hold on one second. I want to pin it in the chat. You want to call in tonight? This is a good opportunity to do so. Let me make sure it's pinned at the top. And if you know Jim Robershaw, hit him up. Say, Jim, you're supposed to be on the Young Jerks right now. I wonder if he had too many beverages at a St. Patrick's Day parade or. Oh, I just pinned that in the chat. Did I pin it? Oh, maybe I didn't pin it. Yeah, I did. If you want to call in, StreamYard link is right there. It would have to be quick because I'm not sure how long I'm going to last solo. I have nothing to talk about tonight. All I was prepared for tonight after the Bettero interview last night was to speak to this attorney tonight, and he hasn't shown up. He's not here. For Doug Henning. I mean, someone just mentioned Auntie Deb. If Auntie Deb's here, maybe he wants to call in. That would be great. That'd be perfect. I don't see him though. I'm just reading the chat now, seeing who's here. Go into it. You want me to get into WCB? There's not much to say. I mean, I could play the clip, but I always get worried when I play those news clips if we're gonna get copyright, strike. I know everyone says fair use, but not really the way it works, unfortunately. The next hearing, I believe, is tomorrow morning. That's the other thing. I believe Karen Reed, as far as I know, what I'm showing is the hearing is tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Karen Reed is in court tomorrow morning, as is Aiden Carney. Aiden Carney's in court in Stoughton, actually. So different court for the Chris Albert stuff. So court tomorrow, 9 a.m. for Karen Reed. Yes. But again, if you want to call in, you have something to say. If you want to talk about Betero last night, you want to talk about them bringing Turtle Boy as a witness, which I don't know. I know Betero said it will never happen. I'm not so sure about that. I think they're that crazy. I think they might act. I'm actually probably the only one that thinks there is a chance that they will bring Aiden Carney up on the stand as a witness. I think it plays into the defense narrative that they want to set here. It seems pretty obvious that they're going for that. And I think that they're going to want to get into the consciousness of guilt. So I don't know. I think there may be a chance. I want to hear what you guys think. You ladies, actually. You ladies think. Call in Melanie Little. It's a little late to call in Melanie Little. I would never ask her to jump on last minute. That's just, yeah. I'm gonna have Melanie Little on. I'm gonna promote it for like a week if I could ever get her on this show. I had her on before, actually. It was last minute, but it wasn't my plan. It just happened. But I want to hear from the viewers tonight. You guys got an opportunity. A lot of people got mad last night and the other night with Andrea because their super chats didn't get read. Where's Mazza? I don't know. If Mazza wants to jump up, the link is there. I'd love to have Mazza come up. Anybody, whoever wants to speak tonight, you've got your link. It's pinned to the chat. Hit the StreamYard, jump up, and tell us what you think about Aiden Carney. Is he going to be called to testify? If you want to talk about WCVB, if you want to talk about Betero last night, Betero was fired up last night. Did you see how fired up he was? He dropped a couple of F bombs. You never see that from Betero. Betero was different character last night, a little bit different. You could tell. You could tell he's seen Chinatown. He's seen Chinatown. He knows about Chinatown now. You love the solo shows. I love them too, but I have to have something to talk about. That's the thing. I have nothing planned tonight. Usually I'd have a plan. I'd have some documentation, a video. I really I've been so worked up and going so hard. I had nothing planned except for Jim Robo show. Thought he'd be here tonight. It seemed like he was a definite. He showed up early last time. This is our second time where we haven't been able to connect in a show. That's like, are we gonna do a third time? We're gonna do next Monday? I don't know. Yeah, Mark was pissed last night. Call up and tell us about it. Anybody who wants to call in, StreamYard in. You got a link at the top of the chat right now. And please like and subscribe. And if your super chat didn't get read last night or on the Andrea Burkhardt show, especially last night, there were over 180 super chats. If I spent just 1 minute reading every super chat, it would have been 180 minutes extra after they left. It's just not possible. And I have dogs to walk at 9 p.m. So I couldn't read every super chat last night. Same with Andrea Burkhart. I wish people sent super chats in when the shows weren't as busy so we could put them on up, but everyone only wants to send a super chat when everyone else is sending them. It's so funny. Christina, thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member. Yeah, maybe I should just replay the Bettero interview. I could do that. I could replay that. We could replay that tonight. You guys want to? Do you want me to bring up the Bettero interview again? We'll just replay it for 2.5 hours. It was that good. Yeah, I've got this dog Fergus that I've been walking every day around the clock. I got a call. I don't know how long ago that was. Probably about 6 weeks ago, and maybe even 2 months. I'm trying to think when that was. But I basically got a call from a customer about their neighbor who has a dog, um, and the owner is a single woman, and she fell down and broke her femur bone, and she was basically in rehab at this point in a hospital. And the dog was staying with the daughter, but he wasn't doing well there. They wanted to bring the dog back to the house, and they wanted me to basically walk the dog around the clock. And that's what I've been doing. The dog is the sweetest. He's blind in one eye. He's this little, can't even explain him. He's some type of terrier, but he's not like the standard terrier that you think of. He's very low to the ground. He's kind of long, and he's the cutest, smartest baby you've ever seen. He's so stubborn, and he's older. And the other day, he came in the house, and he was not walking. Basically, I had to carry him out to go pee, and then the next day it got even worse. He wouldn't even get up to even say hi to me or even lift his head. So I took him to the emergency vet over in Lawrence, Massachusetts. It's Bulger Animal Hospital. That's where I always take the dogs if it's last minute and your vet can't take you. They're phenomenal. They'll always take you, like Angel Memorial. So I take him in there. He got a bunch of tests, um, and he's better. He's walking again. And then that's basically why I have to always, like lately, I have to have my show done by 9 because I gotta run out the door and go walk him. That's why a lot of times I don't get to read your super chats right now. But he's doing better. He's walking again. They did discover there was a growth on his liver, which sucks, an older dog. I don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know if it's cancerous. We're hoping he doesn't get sick again. And when a dog gets sick too, it could just be a stomach bug, or it could be actually that growth on the liver weighing it, so I have no idea. So that's the status on Fergus, but I'm just very happy that he's walking again. He's like, we had great walks yesterday, great walks today with him. Um, so yeah, that's one of the new dogs I'm walking, Fergus. I love Fergus. Yeah, praise Fergus. Fergus is the best. I guess nobody wants to call in tonight. You don't want to talk to me. I'm waiting here. I'm begging for a phone call tonight. Maybe we should even try the phone number. Why don't we do that? I'll see if the old phone line. I think it's easier to get phone calls. Actually, I always found it was easier. I haven't tried it in a while. I learned that one of the issues it could be is that the phone might not have been close enough to the roadcaster. That these roadcasters are very touchy on signal. So I'm gonna try that. Let's put up the phone number too. Oh, well, actually, we got a caller here. Or do that. Megan. Megan, what are you doing tonight?
How are you? Good. Sorry, I didn't know how to use the StreamYard. I had no idea what I was doing.
It's funny you oh, we lose you? You still there? Yes.
Yep, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. So what did you want to talk about tonight?
Well, I wanted to say I'm sorry for missing Betterow last night. I'm super bummed I missed him. I heard it was a great show. I was
Oh,
gonna
yes, it
catch
was.
up
You gotta go
today
watch.
while I was at work, but we have this no headphone ban, so I can't watch everything right now. I'm like, oh, it's killing me.
Oh,
Oh, can you hear me?
yeah, we can.
Oh,
It
okay.
sounds a little you have a little bit of an echo. It could be me, though.
Let me see if I can put my earbud.
Are you on s no, you can't be on speaker. You're on StreamYard.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. So, what did you, see the Courtney Proctor thing by chance? Oh, we lost her. You know what? Let's put up the phone line. Let's put up the phone number. Let's try the phone number tonight. See if it works. 978-560-3155. If you prefer to call in that way, you wanna comment on, Bettero last night, some of the comments he made about how, Judge Cannone didn't even take him up on his offer to meet with him. And let me know in the chat. I wanna know in the chat. Do you
Hello?
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, you gotta turn down whatever you're watching on in the background? Can hear it? Okay, great.
It's okay. This is Reggie calling. How you doing?
Good. I just wanna check one thing, Reggie. I want the people that
Sure.
chat to know if they can hear Reggie well, because sometimes our phone lines haven't been working well. Is my phone does everyone hear Reggie in the chat? I'd just like to know that. Go ahead, Reggie.
But concerning all this stand I wonder if you're really politically active. I'm wondering if you would you just
Definitely. I'm gonna let you go, Reggie. They're saying the phone line is bad. Unfortunately, it's still not working. But I'm gonna answer your question if you want to listen offline. Thank you. Reggie just asked about the governor. We should be focusing on the governor of Massachusetts. I think that's a good point. I definitely do think. I'll tell you, if I had more time, I'd have a dog business. I'd probably be up at Beacon Hill trying to get statements from her, chasing her around, my video cam. I mean, if we have some retirees or people that have extra time, I think that's a great idea. Even find out where she's going for campaign events. She does Boston. What is that? Boston radio on get the name of the show. WGBH show with Jim and Marjorie. Boston Common or something. What is that? I don't even remember. Whatever that show is. They do it at the Boston Public Library a lot. She comes in there. It's like a public event, so anyone can come in. So I that's what I would be doing if I had time. If I was retired, if I didn't have to walk dogs every day for a living, or if I did this full time, that's what I would be doing. It's called bird dogging. Follow her around, try to get statements. And I think there should be much more political organizing around the governor, the governor and the government, like in Beacon Hill. They did do a couple standouts up at Beacon Hill, some of the pre-Karen Reed people. I think they should do a lot more of that. Absolutely. Absolutely. We had someone else calling in on the StreamYard, but they dropped off when I had the phone call. I hope they call back. We're back to StreamYard only. Apparently the phones still aren't working here. Sucks. I don't know what happened to the phone number. So yeah, sorry, the phone my phone service is awful, Megan. Yeah, no worries. It happens. Yeah, spicy Betero last night was fun. We could play that again. Maybe we'll do that. I'm not sure where the guest is. I just saw a question about the guest. I have no idea. Jim Robichaud was the attorney who was supposed to be here tonight. Last week I had technical issues. I couldn't get my computer to work. This week, I don't know where he is. We talked last night about doing the show. Not here. Maybe he had too many cocktails today for St. Patrick's Day. I have a feeling maybe he took a nap. That's what happens to me sometimes. Is with these shows at 6 o'clock. Sometimes I want to like about 3 or 4 o'clock. I start fading. I take my like 1 hour nap, and then I get worried I'm not going to wake up in time. Maybe he did that. Maybe he took a late afternoon nap. Yeah, maybe he got called into court. Who knows? I think if he did get called into court, though, Steph, he probably would have told me. He seems like a good guy. I think it's something else. Who knows? I don't want to wish something awful could have happened too. Who knows? We have Jen here, but Jen, you got to unmute your mic if you want to speak on the show
I'm
here.
here. I'm here.
Hey, Jen, how you doing tonight?
Hey, good. I'm just pulling into a parking lot and I'll turn my video on so you guys can all see because I'm in northern Utah. So you guys all need to see the beautiful mountains.
Oh, I'd love to see that today. We got
Figure,
crappy rain
give you
here.
something to, right? And
Yeah.
we're supposed to get like a snowstorm tomorrow. So
Oh,
I'm excited.
finally
We
got
haven't
warm weather, but it's just all rainy here.
Oh, I love the rain. The rain's the best. Okay, let's see if I can get it so you guys can kind of see the mountains. Hold on. We'll see if I can flip. I don't know if I can flip my thing. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see if you can.
What part of Utah are you in?
You guys see them?
Oh yeah, a little bit.
Kind of. I don't know how to work StreamYard. Salt Lake area.
Oh, Salt Lake, cool. I
Yeah.
got some friends over there.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it. I was listening to you. I just left a doctor's appointment, so you were my entertainment.
Oh, I hope it went well.
It did. Yeah, I have arthritis, so I had to get an injection in my foot. It's always fun.
Oh yeah, that's
I wanted to say I really appreciated your interview with Betero. I know it's sad for everyone, but I don't know. Maybe a good thing in disguise in the sense that I like having him be able to comment, and hopefully he can work kind of behind the scenes with the team.
yeah. I mean, it's bittersweet, both personally and for the case. Personally, I just wanted because I know he wanted to do this. Like I know he was.
Oh
He was
yeah, you
itching
can
to
tell.
go. He was itching to go. So personally, I'm sad for him.
Yeah, you can tell he was bummed, but I don't.
Yeah.
I think selfishly for the rest of us, maybe
Yeah.
it's a good thing for us in the sense of comments. But
yeah, for the shows, but I think it would be better for us to all watch him in court. Like I would have would have been a lot better actually, just to see him and
yeah, well, and I dropped a super chat last night with the comment just because it's been really annoying me how Bev pointed out the amount of attorneys that she has. Like, for some reason, that means like she's good. She's maxed out on the need for more attorneys. And it, for me, like if I could afford it or was blessed, to have the pro bono or whatever she has, I'd have like fucking 20 if I was on trial for murder. I don't care. Like,
right.
I'd have as many as I could.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right. That's the way I feel too. But I think from Bev's angle, I think the way Bev's mind, she just thinks about herself. I really think that this woman is about herself a lot, Bev Canone. I think that it's all about controlling the court. She wants total control of everything. She's a control freak, even though she has no control.
Right.
She can't even help. She can't even control her own sighing. So, I mean, I feel like she's, as a school teacher, there's certain teachers that are like try to be the strict ones and yell at everyone, but their car's a mess. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like their whole life is a mess, and they think they're going to be the strict teacher. It's like that doesn't work. You know,
Yeah.
that's the way I feel like with Bev. I have no idea if she's a hoarder, but I would not doubt it. Like and I'm one to speak because my car is kind of messy, but my house
Oh,
isn't.
yeah, I'm
You know what
not
I mean?
showing
My
you
house
mine.
is clean.
Right.
The house is clean, but I'll say that's mostly because of my partner. I have to admit that she's awesome.
I have
Uh,
ADHD, so I try to
yeah.
organize something, and then like the next day, I don't know what happened. It looks like it used to. I'm like, I don't know. How do people be so meticulous? But I was also going to mention, so I'm in, I
Let
work
me.
at the medical examiner.
Yeah. I want to jump. I want to just finish the thought about Bev
Oh, yeah, yeah.
because I think the thing with her with that comment that you said about the 4 attorneys, I think it goes back to the fact that Yannetti is the only Massachusetts lawyer. So she's looking at it. She's like, Yannetti's the only one I can really punish here. These other 3
Right.
people who I already have from out of state, now I'm going to add Bettero, a 4th. I'm losing control, and I have no control over them except I can kick them off the case. That's it. That's all I can do because she can sanction them, and make sure, bar
Yeah.
them from being in, but their business isn't in Massachusetts. You see what I'm saying? Like if Alan Jackson gets sanctioned in Massachusetts, I don't think he gives a shit as long as it doesn't affect his license in California. You know what I mean? Like, so I
Right.
think that that's the way she's kind of looking at it. Like, I don't have control over these lawyers because they're not Massachusetts lawyers. I can't really push them around as much. Their business isn't here. So I think that's some of it with her. I think that's what part of it is with her is that she's looking like now I'm going to have 5 lawyers and 4 of them aren't from Mass. They're not really under our jurisdiction. They don't really give a shit if they get barred from that, doing business here. So I think that's part of it.
Well, and I think the other part is, I think she has to know that her sanctions and a lot of what she's doing isn't going to hold up in the long run. And so, really, she doesn't have control, period. She's just throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. And obviously that's not a proper way to conduct a trial, but
Yeah, but
who
I also
knows?
think
We don't
I
know
don't
where
know.
we're at anymore.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was Bettero or somebody else who said this recently, but I think it really makes sense in the fact that for someone like her, she doesn't care if it sticks
Right.
because if it doesn't stick, it's going to take 2 to 3 years to reverse it. So
Yeah.
she could punish them all for 2 to 3 years with no, and if it doesn't stick, doesn't matter to her. She's not losing her job. She's not getting sanctioned. She's not getting fined. She's not getting arrested. You know what I'm saying? This like she could punish. It's like the police. A lot of times people say, to the police, you don't have the right to arrest me. You can't arrest me for that. And the cop's like, you want to go bet? I'll arrest you right now. And they arrest them. The cop doesn't give a shit that the charges aren't going to stick. The cop's like, you're a dick to me, so I'm going to bring you to court. I'm gonna cuff and stuff you, stick you in the cruiser. I'm going to take some pictures of you, do the fingerprints, leave you in the jail cell for a couple hours until you make your phone call. Your car's going to get towed. You're going to have to go to court. You're going to have to get a lawyer. Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
beat the charge. Whatever I arrested for, is BS. I don't care. That's the way the
And
cops act too a lot of times because they can get away with arresting you for something that's not even a crime if they want. And
so
mostly nothing happens to them. I think it's the same thing with these judges. They don't give a shit because
I
they
used
can
to
mess your
be a
life up.
cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I used to be a cop. Um, I left when I was investigations. I did a lot of violent crime and child sex crimes, but it's true. It's very true. And I think what people don't realize is how accurate the saying is that nobody polices the police. Um, because there is nobody to police the police, really, when it comes down to it, besides Post. But even then, a lot of that's a joke and politically intertwined as well, like we're kind of seeing with Proctor. Um, I don't think Proctor, I mean, I haven't heard any updates. I don't think if he hasn't, I don't think he's going to lose his job. I don't.
I'd
And I
say
think that's sad.
yeah, when you say nobody polices the police, I'd say no one judges the judges either. And I'd say they're
No.
even more untouchable. At least the police has like a boss, like a police chief, maybe a city council, maybe a mayor, like you said, the post commission, maybe a DA, maybe a lawyer sues them or something. Judges have even they don't have any of that. Judges like who's Bev Canone's boss?
Yeah.
I don't think she has a
Yeah.
boss. I think she's her own boss. So I think that these judges can do that. That's a big problem here is that they're unaccountable. She's totally unaccountable. She can do whatever she wants. Like you said, 2 to 3 years down the line, she get overturned after Karen if Karen Reed gets convicted, and they can file 8 million appeals for all the crazy shit she's done, like not letting Bettero in and all these other things that she's done. But it's going to take
Well,
years for it to
and
get overturned. And Karen will be in jail at that point.
I don't remember which legal channel it was. It was that's not common to be appointed. I mean, here in Utah, they're elected on the state level. On the local level, they're elected. Every election you have the list, and you vote for yes or no if you want that judge to be reelected. And there's judicial panels where they get like a point scale, and are monitored and there's some oversight
Is
to
that in
it
Utah?
where you can
Utah?
go and look.
In
Yeah.
Utah, it's like that? Wow. See
Yep.
that?
And
That's the
so,
thing. It's so funny how Massachusetts is supposed to be the center of education, highly educated population, professionals. We have all biotech, healthcare, higher ed, all this type of, techie business. And we have one of the most backwards court systems and government state. It's like we have no
yeah.
transparency. Utah has more. Utah, who is run by, I hear, the Mormon Church, they have more transparency than Massachusetts. That's just wild to me.
Well, and
Well,
Utah is one of maybe 2 or 3 states. We're the first state that enacted mental health courts. And we have drug court. We have, you know, rehabilitative type of court systems on top of just criminal court, to try and help the problem as opposed to just shoving people, back into the cycle, of reoffending. But yeah, Utah's done well when it comes to that. As conservative as people think we are, we tend to give at least a little bit of a shit to people that get arrested, hopefully. I mean, not everybody, obviously. But but it's so many states. I think people are all just sitting here looking at this as some type of, like, I look at Karen, and I have like anxiety and I get paranoia, and I couldn't imagine waking up every day to that reality. Just the sheer, I don't know, anxiety and stress, and it just breaks my heart. It really does, to have to face that and realize this is not a dream and you're not waking up, and it ain't getting better. I mean,
happens a lot too. I don't think people realize that it can happen. It happens more than people would think.
yeah, it does. It does. I mean, I in a positive way, kind of like Karen had mentioned, in an interview, is this is my life now, and I don't think, this was what was handed to me, is to publicly expose this, and that's a fucking hard fight. You're up against a lot, and she's strong enough, thank God.
She is.
But yeah, but I just wanted to end on, so I work for um uh, medical examiner, and so I talk with a lot of healthcare professionals, and I'll always, if I'm on at a hospital or whatever, like, I'll just show the picture of the injury on John O'Keefe's arm. I'll just ask. Like, I won't even preface it. They don't know about the case, and I'll just say, if you had to guess, like, what would you guess the injuries are from? And not, I mean, I would say probably 90%. The first is an animal attack, but not one person has said a car accident, a collision, lacerations from glass or plexiglass or anything. It's just, that's what I can't wrap my head around, is that they're fighting this fight about it being a, a dog injury. It's just so blatantly obvious that it just, oh,
What do you think about Michael Proctor setting out his wife and his sister to cry on, local TV news about how
he
unfairly.
didn't have to send them out. They were look, man, I have a lot of cop friends. If there's anybody more passionate about policing, it's police wives. All right. Those women can be vicious. Like, they will go to the end of time for that thin blue line status. I don't think Michael Proctor had to push her one bit. Like, she'd been dying to say that.
You're right. I mean, she was calling up supporters of, people who had left voicemails or sent email messages threatening them at their workplaces. She had done a lot of crazy stuff already.
Yeah.
But what do you think about them, doing their crocodile tears on TV and saying, Karen and Aiden have ruined our lives, and Karen is guilty, and it's not fair. Michael Proctor did a good job, except he left a couple messages, a couple text messages, because he was so upset about what she did to John O'Keefe.
Look, you know what? The texts are awful. They're disgusting. In the end, if he had done his investigation, that would have been just shitty text messages. But it's a compilation. It is just one more peg in the hole of everything he didn't do correctly. So no, it's not. That's the thing that I think people get fixated on. It's not about the text messages. It's about the fact that he sent those because he already had determined her guilt. And that was just the cherry on top of the bias. But he didn't conduct an investigation. That is not an investigation in any sense of the word. And so that's, I think, the offensive part of the crocodile tears and whatever media campaign that they want to go on, is that's what they're trying to focus on, is they're deflecting from all of the inadequacies of the investigation and just focusing on his shitty ass texts. Because in the end, it'll be, oh, boys can be boys and locker room and whatever. And people will give a pass to that. And they aren't going to pay attention to the actual underlying point, is those texts were in collaboration with the whole freaking shit show. It's not just the text.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think that's,
yeah. And Channel 5 doesn't even play any of the audio of Michael Proctor repeating himself in court with attacks. It's just so funny how they did this little segment.
They're not going to.
Yeah.
That's just how the media, but like, people aren't stupid anymore after the last 6, 7, 8 years of how the media has presented themselves. That's why people are watching you. That's why people watch YouTube channels, to get information and different points of view. Because that's where we want to rely on getting our sources. So anyway.
We're growing, and they keep losing people.
Yeah.
Their numbers go down, our numbers go up. I mean, that's the trend.
Exactly. Just keep it up. That's all I gotta say, and we'll be here to support you.
Oh, thank you so much, Jen. Thank you for
You're
calling
welcome.
in.
Okay, all right. Take care.
Yes.
I will. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Jen from Utah. Thank you for calling. Good. We get a couple calls tonight. Sorry the phone lines aren't working. Bummed. I think I may try to get a new phone, but I don't know if it's Roadcaster that our phone line used to work so well. I think I am getting a new phone because I probably could get a wire and wire it in. I get a new phone. Hmm. Thank you, Vanessa0614. She says, "Can you send my friend Dan some positive thoughts while he's in the hospital? He loves watching your channel." Oh my God, Dan, I hope you're doing good in the hospital. I hope you get out of the hospital and heal from whatever you're in the hospital for. Definitely, let's send positive thoughts and love to Dan today. I also want to send the same to Uncle Frank, Tiffany. He's going through a surgery too. I think today. Thank you both for watching the channel. We were thinking about you. We have prayers. Let's pray for them. Everybody pray for Dan and Uncle Frank today. Send them some love. Hope you get better and get out of the hospital as soon as possible. Heal quickly. Yeah, Uncle Frank and Dan. But yeah, get better, Dan. Everybody's praying for you. Everybody's praying for Dan and Uncle Frank right now. Chat. There you go. The best chat. Oh, we got the youngest jerk over here, Bob. Boda Bob. Funny too. I do hear from parents when they tell me that they had to turn it off for certain nights because I got too spicy because their children were there. Even some of our moderators, right? M said she had to turn it off one night because Ari was watching. Hi, Ari. I'm not swearing tonight. I'm behaving. The children can watch tonight. Yes, please pray for Uncle Frank. I'm just the only spicy thing you're gonna get from me is I'm aggravated that I'm 0 for 2 with this happily angry lawyer who I've wanted to get on the show for a while. Last week it was my fault. I had technical issues. We had to cancel, reschedule the show for this week. This week we talked last night via, Twitter messages, and he's supposed to be here at 6 p.m. today, and he's a no-show. I don't know where he is. Haven't heard from him. I think he might have had too much St. Patrick's Day or taken a nap. That's what I'm going to assume. I'm going to assume he took a nap. So he's not here. I don't know where he's at tonight. Hopefully nothing, hopefully nothing bad happened. Hopefully he just gets back and says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I screwed up and we reschedule." And I'll say, "Yes, we'll go for a third time." Yeah, he probably got hammered today, right? Is he Irish? I'm Irish. I'm not drinking today. But that, it's good for me because I've had a lot of shows and a lot of walks. And I think I need to just go have a chill and maybe go out and have a little smoke, a little cannabis. I'll probably have enough time so I can chill a little bit and then I go do that walk later on tonight. Unless anyone wants to call in. You got the StreamYard link is pinned at the top. You want to call in today? You know what? I'm going to hit up my guy, the highway patrolman. He was trying to get through. He wanted to be on the show again. Maybe he wants to call in tonight. So you know what? Let's see if, how am I going to get in touch with, oh, I know how. I'm going to hit him up right now. I'm going to hit him up. Let me see if he'll come up. If he's around. He might be partying too. St. Patrick's Day. A lot of people are out there enjoying themselves. Be a good guest to have back on tonight. That'd be a good. Let's just see. I sent him a message too. Where's Nan these days? She's been on like every show. She was just on the show like a week ago. She was on our show a week ago. Oh, we're gonna do a show with her on LTL Media on Thursday night. It's gonna be Brian, Mazza, myself with Nan on LTL Media on Thursday night. And I think she was definitely watching last night too, the show. She sent me a message about my screw up. I should reply back actually. I was spent last night after that show. She texted me about when I screwed up about Kate and Albert. It was actually Allie McCabe. So she was watching last night. Guys are just watching me drink coffee, read the chat. I mean, I'm supposed to have a guest here tonight. He didn't show. I got open phone lines. If anyone wants to call in tonight, it's pinned at the top of the StreamYard before I hang it up tonight. I'm still waiting. Maybe Jim will show up. Maybe Jim will wake up from his St. Patty Day's nap. North Carolina Highway Patrol is not home right now, so he can't do it. He's probably, like I said, probably maybe having a couple cocktails on St. Patty's Day. I don't know. I should read the buffer zone order. Oh, I don't know if I want to do that today. Isn't it like 300 yards now or some shit? Just awful. Terrible. Terrible. Some green beer. Is anyone have any green beer today? Not me. The only green I do on St. Patty's Day is the cannabis. FK has what on? What are you talking about, Em? Oh, you talking about the thing tonight? I think Brian's doing something private. We might watch it there actually, privately. I'm not sure. He invited me to something. I don't know if that was. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at that, see what it was. The ID special, yeah. I think it's private. I don't know. Brian sent me something that he's doing tonight on that too. What herb am I? You want to know what herb I'm puffing right now lately? It's funny. I'm really actually sad. I have a container of the last River Run Gardens I'll ever consume. I'm trying to conserve it. This is the best tasting weed. It was the best deal in Massachusetts. It was a micro grow, veteran owned, treated his employees well. I used to buy from him before he was legal. Guy's awesome. He went out of business like this month because a lot of the dispensaries wouldn't pay him. He had the best product around for the best prices. And these scumbag, these big companies, they wouldn't pay him. They put him out of business. He's a veteran. That's why I'm really kind of disgusted with the legal cannabis industry that I helped legalize, that I spent decades. I mean, everything you should know about the cannabis industry is there's probably nobody that did more in the state to help get it legalized, and none of those people ever give me any props. Think about that. They all profited off of my work, off of what I did, and none of them will give me props. And you know why? Because I'm too honest. Because I'm not a sellout. Because I won't pretend what they're doing is all fine and dandy when it sucks. So that's what I'm smoking right now. I'm smoking the last of the River Run, and I got another guy who gets some out the back door of one of the dispensaries. So basically, I'm not even buying legal cannabis anymore. I'm boycotting what I created. I'm disgusted by it. I really am. That's why I stopped covering it. And I think I'm actually going to cover it again a little bit. I've got a worker who got shafted. She had a lawsuit. I may have her on. But I'm really just frustrated with that whole industry. A bunch of sellouts, a bunch of phony corporate suits who don't actually care about consumers or patients or having a good product or even backing up a good product. Paying out a vendor who has the best product around that's done ethically, that treats his employees well, veteran owned, micro business, no mold, no pesticides, no radiation, none of that stuff. Just great product that when you consume it, you're like, holy shit, that tastes so good. They put them out of business because they didn't want to pay them. That's the industry in Massachusetts. So cutthroat. Yeah, how long will it take to find a jury? Probably the same as last time. What was it, like a week? 2 weeks? I don't know. It took a while. I think it's gonna be the same thing. Every day it's gonna be like, "Oh, we found 2 jurors today." Gonna take a while. Gonna take a while. It's funny too because Brian was talking about how he thinks they're gonna streamline the case. I don't think so. I think it's gonna be the same shit again. I think it's gonna be a 3-month trial. I do. All the stops and stop. I don't think anything's gonna change. I think actually it's gonna be even longer because this time the defense has a dozen experts. And I don't think Hank Brennan's gonna make it slower. I think that he's gonna actually, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's gonna think totally outside the box. But I think what Lally did last time kinda did work. It's like throw everything against the wall, confuse the jurors by just minutia and stuff that doesn't matter for months so that people forget the real good juicy stuff, right? I think that worked last time. So I think that this will be another 2 to 3 month trial. I really do. I think it's gonna be long. Maybe I'm wrong, but I have a feeling it's gonna be very similar to last time. It's gonna take forever to find a jury. It's gonna be forever to actually try this case, especially with Beverly Canone, who does everything at sidebar, right? What I thought another point that was interesting last night with Betterow is when Betterow said one of our viewers asked, "What do you think about what Carl Steinbeck said when Carl said, take everything to sidebar? If she's not giving us the objections, take it to sidebar every time. Slow it down." And he said, yeah, I think that's exactly what they should do. Because that's what was done to them too, right? On the defense side. So funny, I've asked 2 attorneys that question. One was Nan Gallagher, and she said, nope, I wouldn't do it. That's not my style. I think it was more of a stylistic, just and I could totally see that. Like there's totally different styles with lawyers and how they handle themselves, and just like anything else, you know, any type of business or specialty, people have their different styles. Like to hosting these shows, you could see all the different styles. Some of us are are not as slick. Some of us are more news intensive or serious, and some of us are maybe lighter and funnier and having more fun, right? Same thing with attorneys. They're gonna have their different styles. So Nan Gallagher said didn't she wouldn't go that way, but Betterow said she had said he would. It was very interesting. Is it Andrea? I see. I thought it was, maybe I'm getting mixed up now. I thought it was Dan. Maybe it was Andrea. Yeah, Andrea said it would lose the jury. Right. I think I'm getting mixed up now. See, I've interviewed too many lawyers now. It's fun. It's hard to keep track of who said what. Maybe they both said it. I think they both actually said similar. Yeah, Andrea thought it might lose the jury. Very interesting. That's the thing about all of this stuff. It's not so cut and dry. Like who you should pick on the jury, for instance. We were talking about that. Like, should it be someone who's more blue collar or someone who's more professional, high IQ, you know? And in a lot of respects, I would say, high IQ, but also I think some of those people are biased against Turtle Boy, right? So probably be blue collar actually. But blue collar generally trust the police more, right? So, a lot of the stuff is not cut and dry. Mr. Monk's underbelly. Is he here? I said, yeah, Mr. Monk's understudy. Is he here tonight? I called him underbelly last night. I'm sorry, Mr. Monk. He's the best. He's the one who suggested Carl, actually. I love when my mods pick on me. Oh man. Blue collar all the way. Yeah, I think so. I think another thing that Carl said that was very on point was no alcoholics. Don't have anyone that's in AA on that jury. Because, I have relatives. I'm not going to say who they are, but I have relatives like that. I mean, they think if you drink one drink, you're an alcoholic. You know what I mean? Some of the AA people are so hardcore. It's almost like a cult. I'll say it. I mean, and that's why it works too, right? AA is so a lot of times the AA people are so law and order that you don't have a chance to break through with facts. So I think that was a very good point that Carl made. No AA people. If you hear they have AA, do not have them on there. See, see, this is the thing too. M says I'm an AA and I say innocent. See, that's the truth too. Like all of this stuff is subjective. You know, you could say like 85% of the people in AA are like that, but there could be one or two people on the jury who are in AA who aren't. So again, a lot of it is like I think what Bedero said, gut feeling. You kind of have to feel people out. Kind of have to see if they're receptive. You can get a feeling from people. And that's what it comes down to. Like a lot of these, like I would never take anyone who's in AA on this jury if I was the lawyer, but you never know. If the right person was sitting in front of me and I felt like they were open, if they were like M, if M was on that jury, and I didn't know her obviously, and she didn't, have all these ties to this case at this point, being a moderator on this show, I would pick her because I know, she would be open just by talking to her. So again, you kind of have these guide rules, guidelines, but again, a lot of it's by gut. Depends on the situation. So what's funny too is one of the things I remember this specifically from Dan Gallagher said, she, she would be asking, do they watch the shows? Like if especially on the prosecution angle, do you watch Turtle Boy? Do you watch the Young Jerks? Do you watch Nurse Kim? It'd be interesting to see that if that comes up in the questionnaire, because last time the questionnaire for the jury did get leaked, and I'd be interested to see if those kind of questions come up this time. Oh, we got an AJ here who we're going to bring up on the screen. Let's see what she's got to say. Again, we have the if you want to call in tonight, the StreamYard is pinned in the link right now. You can call in, make a comment. Hey AJ, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Great. What do you have
I
for us tonight? What do you want to comment on?
listen. I could talk about everything. I've been following this since Turtle Boy was maybe the only person reporting on it because my ex had a podcast and he had someone from the local area um, send it in because they cover conspiracies and stuff like this. So like way early days. So I'm pretty pissed all the time about this stuff. but I wanted to call in, mostly actually to be a little bit different, and just shout out Uncle Frank again. So, because I don't know if everyone knows who Uncle Frank is exactly, but I think everyone knows who Aunt Deb is. And
Auntie Deb, yes.
yeah,
Yep.
so Auntie Deb, or Jimmy, as Kimmy would call him, has a very best friend named Uncle Frank, and she means a lot to a lot of people in this community. And she is in surgery today. Hopefully we'll have another surgery. I don't know how much she's putting out there. I know she's talked about it some, but it's a big deal. And she's a nurse, but she's going to be laid up for a while. And I don't know, everyone. I just want to put it out there, kind of broadcast it. Use you, Mike. Sorry, to broadcast it even bigger, because she means a lot to a lot of us, and I just want everyone to pray for her, because she's been through a lot. The trolls have put her through a lot simply for being Aunt Deb's friend and being there. So that, and Uncle Mike, you need to go on Oblivious Benson.
I hit her up. It's funny because she was hitting me up like, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was like, yeah, 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 yeah. But I was so busy, and then everyone else is hitting me up, and so I hit her up like 2 days ago after I did Jimmy's show. I was like,
Okay.
now I have to do your show, but she didn't get back to me. I don't know if she's mad at me or
She
because
has
I
the
didn't get
most.
back in
No,
time.
she doesn't get mad at people like that. Well,
Oh, good. I hope not, because I like her.
not for that. She has really weird work hours, because she does
Can relate.
like a lot of like computer security. She does different things, but like it's not always in her time zone. So, or she's doing the late shift because it pays more to have people on guard um, later. So she's got a wild schedule. We never know when she's gonna go live. So um, she'd have to like actually set something up. But she's had a few people on lately. I know she wants to talk wrestling with you.
I'm down. I told her I'm in. Like I got to do Brian LTL on Thursday night. I said yes to him. I always have to say yes if Mazza asks, obviously.
Hmm.
And I said, Nurse Kim, I owe Nurse Kim a show. So if Nurse Kim thinks she may want me on her show soon, but if Oblivious Benson, like that's my list right there. Those are the only shows I feel like I have to do right now.
Some good
And
shows. It's a good lineup,
I'm
Mike.
yeah, I'm ready to do Oblivious as soon as she gets back to me. I'm in. Let me
All
know.
right. We'll harass her and let her know all our ferals that you have in the chat right now. You may not be aware of how feral we are, but we're there.
I'm
And
in.
I don't understand any of the wrestling stuff, but she knows the history of it. Like, she should be in charge of the Wikipedia page or something. I have no clue.
Yeah, I've watched some of it, and I'm just like, you know what? Like, I'm not. It's funny because there were certain periods where I watched it like all the time, but then I stopped. You know what I mean? And then I
Hmm.
started watching again, and then I stopped. So it's like I'm not gonna know half the shit she's talking about, even though she thinks I do.
All I know is I had a bunch of really country cousins down. I'm in Atlanta, a bunch of country cousins uh, up in, some hill folk type people that really liked wrestling.
Me too. I mean, too. It's funny because I was an amateur wrestler. I think people know that.
Oh yeah, that's
Jimmy
right.
did
That's
a
right.
song about it. Jimmy did a song. I wrestled, but I coached high school wrestling and stuff. And I met the Cena brothers, not John, his brothers who actually did wrestle. And I ran into John one day because of the brothers before he was famous. And so this is how much I really wasn't following wrestling. He was like the champion for like 10 years. And then one day I just turned it on. I said, "Oh, I'll check out. I just want to see what's going on in wrestling. I haven't watched that forever." Turn it on, and I just went because I was like, "That's freaking John Cena from
You're
West
like, wait,
Newbury." The kid
know that
I
guy.
used- so then I started watching it again. But that was like he had already been, and then I'm calling my cousins who hang out with him, like they know him. They went to high school with him and shit. I'm like, "Did you know?" And they're like, "Yeah, we hang out in his mansion." I'm like, "What? What are you? What? What's going on here?"
No invite, Mike. No love.
Yeah, no invite, no love. And then I ran into his brother or some one day, and I was like, "Your brother? Your brother?" He's like, I think he ran away from me. He's my friend on one of them's a friend of mine on Facebook. He's a good dude. He was the
That's-
one I used to wrestle against during practice. I'm not gonna say their names, but I love that family. Good people. Got me talking about it again, Auntie Deb. Auntie Deb likes. I know John. He put it in the song. It's so funny. Did you see when
Yeah.
he's doing this the other night? I almost died. I freaking died when he started doing the hair thing.
He's so
He's like,
cute.
"Can you hear me? Can you hear me?" Guy.
That's pretty funny.
Oh,
All
I was
right.
not ready for that. I was not expecting that. I was just like, I didn't even know what to say. I was so speechless. No one's ever friggin' done an impression of me like that, except for like my family. You know what I mean? Like,
I think Jimmy takes pride in the impressions and catching people off guard. So it's pretty funny.
oh, he was great. He's amazing. I love, yeah. And I'm glad you brought up Uncle Frank. Also Tiffany. People call her Tiffany. That's her
Yeah,
real
her name's
name.
Tiffany.
She is the sweetest lady. Like she really is. She's the one that people don't know. She put a fundraiser drive together to get me this jacket. I still haven't received, but it's coming. Today it actually moved finally. I thought
You
it
were
was lost.
scammed the first time.
Yeah. This is the second time we've ordered it, and we ordered it on March 1st, and I still haven't received it. It just showed up to Poshmark headquarters for inspection, so it's moving along again. Today was like the first update in more than a week in the tracking. I was freaking out. I'm like, did someone steal it? Like, so it's a Canadian goose, just like Bill Reed wears.
Hmm.
And the trolls were going after him, how expensive Bill Reed's attire was. I'm like, you know what? What will they do if a dog walker buys the same jacket as Bill Reed?
I
The-
mean, people are
Tiffany,
allowed to spend their money on what they
yeah.
want. You don't know
Tiffany
what
saw
people
it.
like. You may save your entire thing and buy a crazy car because that's what means a lot to you, and you could be living in a cheap apartment. But like, people don't know anyone's lives. They just need to stay
Yeah.
out of everyone's pockets. So
Tiffany saw my post about it. It was like, we're buying you that jacket. Like her and my mods and some of her friends. I don't even know all the people. Like, I feel kind of weird about it because I'm like, I need to thank everyone, especially when I get it. But I'm very thankful for her. She's so sweet. Like, I just love her. And seeing her going through all that, I just hope that she gets better. I really do.
yeah, watching the trolls drag her through the mud, knowing the extent and the severity of her circumstances is really, really difficult. It's really
Yeah.
difficult to watch, and you kind of wonder like what type of human is capable of doing that. But she remains positive about everything. We know these nurses. We have such a big community of nurses within FKR and other smaller communities, and they are the nurses that just keep things going, right? Because the things they have to go through, and then they bring that into their real world life, and you just see the type of saints that they are to put up with and care and expose themselves to such heightened emotions all the time and just somehow keep going. And it only seems right to really support them when they're when they need it, because they're the people that don't ask for it.
Definitely.
and
And she
and
needs support and love right now. And she has a fundraiser too. People can give to that. Tiffany, for people that don't know, she had a kidney transplant. Kidney is not going well, so they're removing it today, which is
so she had a
right.
kidney transplant a long time ago. And it's this one is non-functioning and has had her basically in pain for a while. And they don't normally take kidneys out. Apparently, they just kind of stack them in on there on top of each other. I don't know how kidneys work, apparently, because that's confusing to me. So right now she's going to have her kidney removed, and we're looking for people who are type O negative to hopefully donate to her. That's the biggest thing, and we're fundraising for her just so she can live and not have to worry about weeks that she's going to have to take off, because when you have an organ removed, that's a major surgery. So I don't have the links or anything on me. I know a lot of people in the chat do, but we could figure it out. Mike, if anyone gets in contact with you, if they there's a link that they can go through if they want to see if they're compatible with her. It's really, apparently there's a lot of things that have to, it's more than just type O. We've had a couple people test and they just ultimately the compatibility wasn't there. But you know, she's about to be going at it without a kidney for a while, and we're really just praying that we can find someone that has it. So many of us would give her everything if we could throw our bad kidneys at her, but you know, we just have to stay positive because she's positive about it, and stay supporting her. And she's, you know, she's very loved.
She gets her kidney. I'm really hoping today goes well and she recovers quickly.
I think she will. I think she has, you know, the right people around her. I don't know how you couldn't, you know, recover with Jimmy there cracking up with you.
Yeah.
He's gotta, you know.
He's good for the spirits.
He definitely is. He's definitely good for all of us in all this chaos. So, for sure.
Well, thank you so much, AJ, calling in tonight. Do you want to comment on it? Did you watch the Betero interview last night by chance?
Yes.
No, the
one?
Betero, Mark Betero on our
I
show.
watched everything. Yes. He was back on there. That's right. I'm sorry, my brain restarted because I
I know,
watched
because you're thinking
content
about your
all day
friend.
long.
Yeah.
I was so happy to see him. I don't know. I think that's actually, I started watching you. The algorithm got to me maybe 2 weeks before he first came on to your show, and once he came on, I was like, I have to come back every week. So he really was I had started watching you, but then I really got into it when you started having him on, for your insight. A lot of what I watch online in general, regardless if it's this trial or another, is attorneys online because I'm fascinated by it. And, you know, especially even in Atlanta, we've got our own stuff going on, which is kind of wild. A couple people might have heard of those cases, but yeah, just his insight. And I'm so disappointed that he wasn't able to. I don't know what the hell Judge Bev is doing. None of us do, but I'm really upset that he's not a part of the team because people. She has titans among attorneys, right? Like, there's no question in that. But each one of them really does bring something unique, and Mark's brain is really the way that he looks at things and analyzes. He's just very smart, detail oriented, and he seems to be able to pinpoint things and look at it in a way that other people don't. They all have something unique about them, and I think he really would have been an asset to the team. It's unfortunate that he's not a part of it, but I'm glad Turtle Boy has him. You know,
It's been amazing to see him cross-examine people because I
my
mean,
God.
I read the stories about this. He had a police officer on the stand who did some shady shit, and Federer was going to hammer on this guy on the stand, this police officer, so badly that halfway through the cross-examination, the DA just got up and said, "Case over, charges dismissed. Stop. No more, no more questions, Federer. It's over. You won, Federer. I quit. And
That's
I
gotta
mean,
feel good.
yeah. I mean, you read about it. Even during the Karen Reed trial, he's representing this woman who was charged with her husband, and her husband's the real abuser,
Mm-hmm.
and she should have never been charged. They had her up on like the worst charges. He won. He won that case for her.
Yeah,
And
I need to
there's
pull up
another
his
case that I
records.
posted. Yeah, I posted this one today. It was an FBI agent where one of his snitches turn around with a girlfriend or something.
Mm-hmm.
Made up this story with this shady DA, with a shady DA, and
You
accused
know
this
those.
FBI agent of murder, being in on this murder. He was innocent. I mean, if you're not like a top attorney, a top criminal defense attorney,
Mm-hmm.
there's no way an FBI agent is going to hire you to defend them from a murder charge and win. And he wins. And he won that case again. Like, you just go through his resume and it's just like there's a reason why people consider him a top criminal defense attorney in New York City, because he
Absolutely.
is. He has that record. It's funny to see these trolls get up there and pretend he doesn't. It's like,
Well, to call him dumb and like try to belittle his credentials, it's just, you kind of had to shake your head like, what are you doing? You
yeah,
look silly. Stop.
they look like ridiculous. I think that's ridiculous. I mean, it's one thing when they say, "Oh, Mike can't be." It's funny because they don't know. I hear the comments sometimes. They're like, "Oh yeah, Mike's wicked busy as a dog walker." It's like, okay, I get it. You don't know. I mean, there's no public record on how many walks I do. I get it. But when you're going after Betero, when there's a public record, it's like you guys are just idiots. You're really not smart people. You are not smart people.
Yeah, and it doesn't. I mean, they wouldn't see it the same way, but the people who do watch you know your career history and know that that was a choice. And I'm super impressed for one that you're like, you know what, my health and happiness is more important than chasing this one career. So I'm going to go into something else. You did do the activism, and then now you've gotten into this trial, which is really big. And so we're really lucky that you're just a dog walker, right? Like we wouldn't have access and just the insight that you have and the people that you're able to get on your show. You found Mark Betterow for us. Um, so yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah, guys, he's just a dog walker. Sorry,
I actually like when they say that. I actually love it. Like, humanize me more. Please humanize me. Make sure I don't have to get a big head. Call me just a dog walker because that's
Also,
all
he's
I am.
employed. Like some of y'all might need to know what that is. Maybe y'all should walk some dogs.
I don't want to be cocky. Like when I was an athlete, I was definitely a cocky asshole. Like, you know what I mean? I try to resist that. And I try to remember I'm just a dog walker.
Just a lowly dog walker.
I'm just a dog walker. I love it. Like it's funny. I have liked most like I did enjoy when I was younger. I tried to be a school teacher. I never really got full-time hired. I was the head wrestling coach. I love that. Teaching is really difficult, especially when you're a younger teacher. I liked it because I was helping kids. Like I really enjoyed that aspect of it. When I was a big financial advisor, I mean, a lot of people get into that business because you make good money, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing I liked was like helping, like especially where I worked, we were like the 403B provider or healthcare or higher ed.
Oh, interesting.
Cops, government. So, basically what I would do is I'd go into like Shriners Hospital was one of my big accounts in Boston. I'd sit in the cafeteria and I'd sign up the custodians, I'd sign up the cafeteria workers, I'd sign up the nurses, doctors, uh, all the hospital workers, the receptionists. And I just loved helping people like make money. Like that was the best feeling when especially when they're working class. Like I'd have the CEOs guys too. Like I was one of the rare ones. It's funny because within the company, we'd have like specialty people. Like these guys, they're for the CEOs and the doctors. These guys are for the custodians. I did everybody. I could get along with any audience. That's the thing. If you're a CEO, you like me. If you're a custodian, you love me. So I could get along with anybody. So that was my thing. And I just liked doing that. I liked helping people make money. It was like such a good feeling. And now with the dog business, I love it because I know that these people like this customer I was just talking about tonight for Fergus, she loves me. She is so thankful that I'm showing up tonight. You know what I mean? That when the other night when her smoke detector was beeping, that I could get up on that ladder and change it for her, so her and the dog wouldn't have to listen to the beeping all night until family member came the next day because she can't get up on that. She can't
Yeah.
do it right now. So like so often that's who I'm helping. I'm helping like a lot of women, especially older women who are either widowed or divorced and they have their dog and they want to stay in their place. They don't want to go to a nursing home and they don't want to give up their dog. And so if I can help them stay in their place and keep their dog and keep them happy, it's like for me, I'm just like, this is God's work. Like
It's
I
huge on a
feel
lot of
so good.
levels.
Yeah, and I sleep well at night. I'm home. I get to go like that's why people don't think I'm busy. They're like, he's always on the Twitter. It's like, yeah, I do a walk, I get 10 minutes off. I do a walk, I get 10 minutes off. I do a walk, I get 10.
But
So
like
you know
it's
what I
kind of
mean?
your job
Yeah.
also. Like it's there's some people who could be in your position and really just not be productive at all and sit on Twitter and just go in all types of directions. But when you're focused on it, that is part of your job. That's part of the research, that engagement. You're on social media. You have to be social. You can't just not disappear. Like then this part of your, I'm gonna call it a hustle because I don't know if you want to call it a job, but you're with us a lot. So this part of your life, you have to engage online. You have to be on Twitter. That's where so much of the info first comes out and things are being discussed and arguments are fought. Yeah, you have to be on there. People are they have just real smooth brains. We'll just say that they're real smooth brained. That's
I saw some of these really brilliant people trying to go after Betterow today, which is hilarious. That he wasn't a top trial attorney. I mean, even Kevin, what was the guy's name? Kevin Reddington, Jen McCabe's attorney, was like, yeah, this Betterow's are like, even he had to like tip his hat to Betterow on social media because he's like, this dude's legit. Like,
yeah. They're
like
all
other
fucking legit.
attorneys know that he's legit. Like other attorneys know that Betterow is legit.
No, I think Brennan's terrified.
Yeah, I do too.
That's why he's not arguing anything of any logic. Like he doesn't know the trial. He clearly has not watched or read a lot of the transcript. I think he knows like the highlights of it. He got the Cliff Notes. All he's focused on is trying to cut off any defense that the defense can put up, or watching his own social media feeds to see if he can sneak in and find anything where someone might have done a bad if he can twist it the right way. That is how he's fighting this. He is not fighting like an attorney actually goes into and fights for the law, because he doesn't have anything to stand on. And I think deep down he knows that, and he knows if he has to go head to head with the team that Karen has, especially if they had added Betterow, but like, you're not. Alicia's gonna like rip your experts apart. It's gonna be hilarious. Like, it's just, he has to be scared.
Totally.
He's
Yeah,
a
I
little
think
weasel.
so. I think the only thing that they're afraid of more than Betterow being on all of our shows is Betterow in that courtroom,
Absolutely.
especially cross-examining these witnesses. That would have been, it's so epic.
God,
We
yeah.
have another viewer who's calling in. She's been waiting in the
All
green
right,
room
get
for a
to
little
her.
while. Named Bonnie. Do you want to hang out? We can have two people on at once.
Sure.
You want to hang out, or do you want to go too, AJ? It's up to you.
Either way, it's up to you. I can let Bonnie have the stage.
Okay, we'll bring Bonnie up too. I should just let people know. People have questions. People are asking, where is the guest tonight? Jim, I don't know. He was supposed to be here tonight. He didn't show up. It was
Jim,
my
that
bad last week.
slick
It was
LA lawyer.
yeah, it's his bad this week. I don't know. I think he might have had too many St. Patty Day drinks, or maybe he took a nap today. I don't know. Maybe something bad happened. I hope not. Knock on wood. We don't know. I don't know what happened to him. There was another question. Did I ever wrestle anyone from Wayland High School? I'm not letting that one go by, that question, because that one, ooh, you're in for a story there. Yeah, the kid that I wrestled from Wayland High School, Mr. Hanlon was his name, Dan Hanlon. He ended up being the state champ. I think I lost to him 6-2 in the Lowell tournament. I felt like I could have beaten him that day. He's a good mat wrestler. We were very evenly matched. He had much more experience. I was only a 2-year wrestler. But he ended up winning the state title that year in my division. I didn't get to wrestle him again. I saw him at that state tournament. He's like, "Why aren't you in this tournament today?" And I was like, "Because I got disqualified at the league finals." So yeah, I never got my. I felt like I could have been the state champ, and he was. The kid from Wayland won the state title. A good kid, Dan Hanlon. Yeah,
Well, if it
you might
wasn't
remember.
you,
Yeah,
then we'll allow it.
Ask him, Hanlon. Do you remember Crawford? Were you afraid of Crawford? Because I think he was like, Crawford might beat me. Crawford might take the title from me.
Oh.
But he won it. The kid from Wayland. We used to wrestle at their gym. Actually, the state titles were all at their gym back in the day. Wayland High School is so cool. I love that place, actually. That gym that they had. Let's bring up Bonnie. Bonnie, wait for a while. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you, sweetheart?
Bonnie, is that a
Good.
lizard?
I was gonna say, what is that?
It's my bearded dragon.
Oh, little
Aw.
dragon going.
It's his bedtime, but he always watches these shows and he loves the voices of the men.
Oh,
So I can put my phone
what's
up
his
and walk
name?
away and he will watch an entire show.
What's his name?
Aw.
Charlie.
Oh, Mike, that's my dog.
I know. I've heard you talk about your dog, and I'm like, oh, you have a big. And my son
Hey,
has a dog
Charlie.
named Charlie.
Hey, Charlie, can you hear me, brother? What's going on, little Charlie?
He's super
My
cool.
bearded buddy.
He's
Oh,
super
yeah.
lovable.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he wants to snuggle.
Oh, does he escape sometimes and run around the house?
No, not at all. I could leave his cage out. Oh, I could leave it open all day. You know who he snuggles with is my cat.
No kidding.
Aw.
I used to have a
This is where
customer that had the,
he's getting ready to
yeah,
go lie down with Bella right now.
yeah,
So
that's
he
funny.
snuggles with me. We have a routine. Then he goes in my bed and he snuggles with Bella while I get his bed ready because I give him all sorts of blankets and I tuck him in. And I go in and get him from Bella. And they say goodnight to each other. And off he goes. And then off she goes.
So cute.
And it's a routine every night.
I love animals. Love their routines. They really do. That's one of the
Oh, and
best
these,
things.
I'm not a big lizard or dragon person, but they say these bearded dragons are like equivalent to having a puppy. All they want to do is snuggle and be loved.
Oh, that's
And
the
I can
best.
take him. He actually comes to my office and does pet therapy
Oh,
with my mental health patients.
love it.
So he's
That's
great.
best.
But anyways,
Love
not to get off track. And I'm sorry, sweetheart, I didn't catch your name.
She's
AJ.
AJ.
I listened to your story about the kidney and I started to cry. And my thoughts and prayers, honey, 100%. And when you said 0 or O positive, I was like, wait, I'm an O positive. And I went, no, I'm a B positive.
It's O negative.
Oh, it's O negative. So I hope we can spread it as much as we possibly can for her. And I'm
Yes.
sending all my prayers and my thoughts, sweetheart.
Thank you so much. Yeah, she means a lot to a lot of us. Really,
And it
really
made
appreciate
me,
that.
I have to honestly say, and I'm glad you're kind of sticking around because what I need to say to Mike in the story you just said makes me feel worse about me right now because I had an attitude last night on Mike's show. And I recently I work 2 jobs. I live alone. I struggle financially to survive. And I recently fell at my second job due to a flood through the ceiling.
Mm.
And I smacked my head and slammed my body and my back and my knee. And I have been suffering some really bad head situations with migraines. And like I get very, and it's not like me,
Horrible.
I've run a mental health office my whole life. But the last 3 or 4 weeks, I find myself getting super cranky and irritated and no patience for anything. And it's not who I am. And I vented a little last night, Mike, and you know that. And I'm so sorry. It's not who I am. I owe an apology to you, to Maza, to Bettero, to your mods, to your guests.
Bonnie. Hold
Yeah,
on.
my goodness, no.
That
Yeah,
means me all
Bonnie,
day today, Mike.
stop. I don't even know what you're talking about.
I got angry because one of my things didn't get read. It's such a stupid thing compared to the story
Did
I
you
just
send me a
heard.
message?
I'm sorry.
Did you send me a message about it or something?
No, I did a super chat and then I got angry in the group and it was so not like me and I just got so mad at myself.
But
I
And
didn't
some
even
people
notice that one.
responded.
I didn't notice it.
but you have a
Well,
head
I-
injury.
I was mentioning about that tonight because I know people were mad, but I didn't know who it was actually
But
from
I
last
know
night.
how busy you were having Bettero back. I didn't expect to be in the spotlight by any means, but my attitude and my head kicked in and
Oh,
I got instantly angry and I didn't even know why.
That's
you know
not
what?
your fault. That's you have a head injury. That's serious.
Yeah,
But
That's
other
not.
people
It's
don't.
probably not you. It really
Yeah.
probably isn't you.
you know what? After you told that story, like I'm worried about you. Like how like are they taking care of you at work because of that?
I'm waiting for workman's comp. I actually had to go for a CAT scan the other day to rule out a brain bleed.
You have an
I can
attorney
barely
for
work.
it?
Huh?
You have a workman's comp attorney.
I have an attorney. Workman's comp is playing games.
Yeah, you
So I
need
haven't even
a
been able to go
separate.
to physical therapy yet.
But
Yesterday they called me and
you
I'm
have
sorry?
your own attorney though, not like
I
from your employer, right? You have
No,
your
I
own.
reached out to an individual attorney.
Good. That's what you need.
Because even like my pharmacy called me yesterday and said we can't even give you medication for your head because they won't cover it. So it's $700 out of pocket. And I'm like, all right, so now I got to suffer because I'm out of work. I live alone. I can't pay $700 for a prescription.
No one can.
Don't be giving me super chats. Don't please.
Well, I did because
Promise
I
me
want to
while
give
you're going
everyone
through
super
this, you're
chats.
not going to do any more super chats because I
Mark, it wasn't much. Trust me, it wasn't
all right.
much. But it
I
was
want
like,
you to.
well, it's funny because I was able to go to the courthouse a week ago. And it was funny because I stood out there because I do the standouts in Middleborough, which I haven't been able to attend because I can't stand for long right now. And that's been eating at me. But I went to the courthouse when Aiden and Karen were there a week or so ago. And it was kind of funny because everybody came out of the courthouse and we had all gone to lunch and I had my little takeout container and I was at the corner where they crossed the road and I wanted to take pictures. So I put my dish down on the floor on the street in front of me on the sidewalk between two poles. And one of the cameramen came by and kicked my dinner across the middle of the intersection,
What the hell?
which I thought was kind of funny because I just rescued it from a dog that was trying to eat it. And Batterow was the one that stopped everybody in the group and said, let her get her dinner. So I wanted to thank him last night and say thank you you were the only one that stopped to let me get my dinner in the middle of an intersection. And I wasn't able to thank him, and I don't think that's what got me mad. I think just the whole migraine thing and I am like a roller coaster with emotions right now with my head. But I really personally felt because it really ate at me all day today. I don't want to anger anybody on your show or your
Don't
guests
worry
or
about it.
I
You
watch
know what?
everybody.
I think I gotta explain it more and more to people because when you have 180 super chats, you can't get them all on the screen. It's
Well,
impossible,
you know what I thought was weird was I kept
especially when you
seeing
have two
chats go
guests.
by and mine kept dropping off. And then a new chat would come up
I
and mine
know.
would drop off again. And I'm like, is he not reading my chat for a reason?
No, it's just there's just too many. There's just too
I
many.
know.
It was
And I
just
should have
like
known that. Better being back for the first time with us again. But I felt the need to apologize because when
you don't need
I
to
know I've
apologize.
done
Yeah,
wrong, I want to apologize and clear the air.
don't worry about it. What did you think about Betterell last night?
Well, I got off the show after I started getting angry because I didn't want to be more angry at people unnecessarily. I was
Oh,
afraid I'd piss more people off. I love Better Out. But I love all you guys, all of you. And I watch every single one of you. And I all I kept thinking today was, why would I get him so angry? Why would I do that? I've always watched his shows, but I had to wait till I came home from my first job to go back and look at the damage I may have caused last night. And I'm like,
No.
I didn't even
reading
notice you.
through-
I got another message today from like the Andrea show that I saw, and I just didn't even respond because I just people do they get mad about the super chats. I get it, but I don't know what to do. Should I turn off super chats? When it's a big show because I know it's gonna happen. It's just like especially, I think some people are like, you can read every super chat. I heard some hosts say that, and I was like, well, that's because you do a solo show.
But you had
Try to
Mark Betterow
yeah,
and Marla.
try to
It
have
was
two guests
guaranteed that
and
you
read
were going to
180
have
super
tons
chats.
of people.
Not possible. You can't do 180 super chats and have two
No.
guests on.
And
Not
typically,
possible.
and you even said, Mark, you said when mine was sitting up there, you're like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to read all these. And yet my head still told me a different story and still got angry.
Yeah.
And then it got me angry at me.
Oh, let's move on. I got the retired North Carolina State Highway patrolman He is. Apparently, he got back home. He's in the green room. Let's bring him up. Let's see what he's got to say tonight, too.
Nice.
Love
Just
the
to let you,
Carolinas.
yeah,
I love his accent.
Carolina's here. We're going to bring him
My
up. Before we
family's in
do,
South Carolina.
before we bring up Carolina, I just want to let everyone know that our guest tonight is not here. I don't know what happened to him. We hope he's all right, but he didn't show tonight, so that's
Who
why
did you have?
Jim Robichaud. He's happily angry Esquire, happily angry attorney on Twitter.
Oh,
He's been replaced.
Yeah,
sweetheart,
we got you.
again, I'm gonna keep saying prayers for your friend or relative. Okay, sweetheart.
Thank you.
I will continue.
Hey, Carolina, how you doing tonight? Are you there, sir?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. You're on the show with a couple other callers as well. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm actually out of town. I got your message. Thought I'd wrap up and see what's going on.
Sounds like you're broken up a little bit. You want to say that again?
I said I'm out of town and I got your message. I thought I'd jump up and see what was going on. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. So yeah, I know you wanted to speak on a couple things too recently. And this is a good time for it. What do you have for us tonight, Carolina?
I can't remember. I think it was about the blood draw that they did on Miss Reed. They done 18 hours after she was at the hospital, and my point was 18 hours is entirely too long to draw blood. Yes, they can go back and extrapolate it and say that she was at this and this at that time, but they're going to have a real hard real bad problem trying to prove that she was impaired if that crash actually happened.
Now, does it matter if she was Section 12?
Well, see, I've never had that. When I did a blood draw, the person was already at the hospital. So I never had to go over to, I guess, mental health or whatever and draw blood. They were a patient in the hospital. So what I did was I found the nurse. I had my own blood kit. The nurse, there are 2 vials in the blood kit. They drew the blood. We filled out all the paperwork. I charged them and I left. So I've never had that. No.
See, I am in a mental health office. I run a mental health office like 5 minutes down the street from there. We typically don't send our patients there when we Section 12 them because that Good Sam doesn't have a psychiatric ward. So typically, even if they're pink paper, they don't typically stay, regardless of the situation. They typically try to push them out the door. But I thought that they were allowed to do blood regardless of how many hours it was because of the fact that they were pink papered. But it should show different levels.
Well, you can do blood, but I wouldn't recommend doing blood 18 hours after a supposedly crash. I mean, you can do blood.
You're not going to get an accurate
3
result.
days later. Do what?
Right. Correct. You're not going to get an accurate result, but I think there's some ruling with pink papers that they're able to do it without a patient's consent, regardless of what they think the rules will be, or the results will be.
Yeah, I'm more interested about the admissibility, though. I mean, that's the key.
Right.
Like, how is that handled in court? What do you think, Carolina?
The way it's done here, you draw the blood. It takes about a year to come back. If they refuse to consent to a blood draw, you get a search warrant and you hold them down and you get the blood. Now, as far as getting it in court, you've got to call an expert that can extrapolate. There's some formula out there that they go back and say, this person would have been at a point 18 hours ago. And I believe I said last time I was on, I had that. And I had the best expert in this state, and I still lost the case. I only had it one time in 30 years. It is very, very, very hard to prove. Very hard. Now, there have been cases where troopers have subpoenaed the hospital records. I actually did that one time. I subpoenaed the hospital records, and the defense attorney stood up and said, "Your Honor, there's no chain of custody in the hospital records," and the judge agreed and threw it out. So it is very, very, very difficult to get that reading in court. To answer your question, it's very difficult.
I agree.
What type of witness do you think that they should bring up to defend her from that?
Well, the witness that was in my case was an expert witness that was over the entire state in toxilizer, alcohol. I mean, he had every degree under the sun. I mean, he testified in a lot of DWI murder trials. I mean, you've got to really, really, really be qualified to even testify in something like that. I mean, I could never do it, but you'd have to have somebody that's a daggone great expert.
You know what kills me with that is every single person in that house had been drinking just as much as everybody. So who's to say Karen was the one that hit him? Anybody that came or went, there were cars coming and going all night long at that house. Any single one of them had been drinking. Any single one of them could have been the ones that hit him. And nobody's ever said that.
I finally realized, too, why Chris walked home, allegedly. I don't know why I didn't put that together before, because if he hadn't, they would have brought up his accident. And I don't know why.
But they were all drinking. They were all intoxicated.
Well, I know, but he has a record, right?
Right.
So
right. But
so
then you
that's
have
why he was walking home.
you have Brian.
There's little things in the
Bonnie,
testimony.
let AJ go.
Oh, sorry.
There are little things in the testimony where you're like, now why would they say that, right? Like, it's an added detail that means nothing on the surface. And there's so many little Easter eggs like they're in that, which again leads to the fact, like, if we can't even tell why they'd be lying about something or adding a detail, just like how people add additional details in when they are lying a lot of the time, if it just goes to point out to the fact that they know how much they're lying, right? They know they have consciousness of guilt. And
right.
Just not bringing up Chris was just another one that you can stack on the pile.
And is that why they didn't want Chris to be known to be at the house? That he went home? Because other people are saying he was at the house, right?
Maybe, but I think it just makes sense. Like, if you're not, it would make sense for him. Walking is closer to his house than it is to Brian's house. So it wouldn't have made sense for him to walk all the way there. So if he's going to be walking somewhere, then.
That makes complete sense. That makes complete sense. I just don't understand why they're not looking at everybody else that was drinking. How come Karen is the only one taking the fall for the one that was drinking? I mean, the Alberts came back from a funeral. They had been drinking all day long. Who knows when Karen started? She may not have started until she got to the bar. They could have all been more intoxicated.
Because Karen's not connected. I mean, that's it. Caroline, do you have any other thoughts tonight too that you want to talk about the blood alcohol or anything else?
Well, one last thing about the cell phones. If you think that they didn't know that subpoena was coming the next day and they got rid of those cell phones and changed carriers, something's wrong. They knew it was coming to preserve that phone, both of them. And Higgins went and put his SIMS card in one trash can and his phone in another trash can. Who does that? Who changes cell phone carriers in the middle of a officer that has been killed in the front lawn? Who changes cell phone carriers? I wouldn't. Would you?
Nope.
And something else. You don't see a single Boston police officer at that trial. Can they not find a bigger courtroom to have it in? I mean, if a trooper was to die here, it would be packed with troopers everywhere, inside and outside.
Right.
And can they start calling him officer? That really bothers me that they don't call him officer.
Me too.
I don't know. Maybe there's a reason for that. That makes sense.
Disrespectful.
It is disrespectful in my mind. I can't think of why they. I don't know.
You're right. If it was anybody else, there'd be tons of police officers there. So why aren't they there? They know, because they know. They've been actually, from what I hear, they've been told to stay away by the union.
Wow.
Mike, did you notice that? I noticed, like, watching the news and stuff when it initially happened. The Canton Police Department was on camera a lot that day. They never lowered their flag. Did you ever notice that?
No, I never noticed that.
That broke my heart right from the get-go. And that was my first clue something wasn't right.
That's
Well,
interesting. What about you, Carolina? Would they lower a flag if someone died?
Absolutely, and we would have a mourning band over our badge until after the funeral. We would wear a mourning badge, a black mourning badge over a mourning band over our badge until after the funeral.
Wild. Interesting.
The whole case is wild.
Did they ever figure out how many of them in the house actually went to the funeral?
No, we haven't heard anything about that. Yeah, been wild. Been. It's funny that this is going to come to a retrial in 2 weeks. I still can't believe it. Well, any final thoughts tonight? North Carolina, State Highway Patrolman. We call you Carolina.
Yeah, I think the next case is going to either be a not guilty or a mistrial. I mean, I cannot tell you one thing that they did right. Now, look, I was in law enforcement, and I would tell you right now, yes, they did this right or they did that right. I can't tell you one thing that they did right from the beginning. And you can write this down in big bold letters. I don't know if it'll be before the trial or after the trial, but Trooper Proctor will be fired. And you heard it from me first. Wait and see.
Yeah, I believe that too. But I think it will happen probably after. But I think it's a done deal. I mean, I think he's going to get fired no matter what. But I just don't know when. I agree with you.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me up, Mike. Y'all have a good night.
You too, Carolina. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Have a great
I
night.
love that accent.
It's plumb awesome.
All right, I
My
think we're gonna
family's
wrap it up.
starting to pick it up now because they're all in South Carolina, but they weren't always there, and now I'm starting to pick up their accent, and I love it.
Awesome.
So, Mike, I gotta say quick. You ready?
We're gonna wrap, Bonnie, buddy. So 1 second, we're gonna wrap this up tonight.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for calling in. I want to thank Carolina for calling in. I want to thank everyone else who's been here tonight. Our moderators. I want to thank the super chatters. I want to wish the best for Tiffany, Uncle Frank.
Yes, me too.
Well, and you too, Bonnie. I hope you get your workman comp straightened out and you win your case and get a big settlement. Because
make sure you take care of yourself. That's a serious injury. It really is. Don't downplay it. You being in therapy, you know all the things that can happen from a head injury. So you're not excluded from that.
Well, again, my apology, Mike, to you and everyone. And know that I love you and your show.
Oh, thank you for calling in. Don't worry about that.
And I hope you guys have a great night. I'm sending prayers.
You too. Thank you so much for calling in.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Thinking about Bonnie tonight and Tiffany. Thank you for calling in tonight, AJ.
Absolutely.
It's funny she wants to apologize. I don't even I expect it. Like it's when I have 160 super chats or whatever it was last night. I already knew before I got off the show without even seeing it in the comments that people were going to be mad. Like,
Well, I think she
I
was going
just
through
know
something
it's
else,
coming.
though.
I don't even, and I didn't even read it. I don't even know what she said. I had no idea. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think she's got something else going on. I mean, she already said that she has the financial stuff before the accident, and if you're working 2 jobs, you're going to be frustrated off of that alone, and head injuries can cause a lot of different things. Ooh, I'm knocking stuff over.
Us.
ADHD over here. But it can cause a lot of stuff, so it doesn't.
Yeah. I hope anyone in that situation, don't send me a super chat. I don't need it. Like, if you're struggling like that, I'd rather you not send the money. And I appreciate everyone that does send donations, but you know what I'm saying? Ask Bob says AJ can have my heart after I pass. Ask Bob. That's kind of creepy. Is that kind of creepy off for you, AJ? What do you think?
Has ownership.
I think AJ's on mute now. You on mute? AJ, you're on mute. How did you end up on mute? Is it me on mute? What's going on here? You're talking and we can't hear you. But your mic is not muted. What is up? What's going on?
Don't do it expecting something, I guess.
We can't hear you. Not sure why. Or is it my system that is, what's going on here? Well, I'm going to read the chat. Can you guys hear her or can you hear me? I'm muted. I don't know. I'm not showing that I'm muted. Weird. Hold on 1 second. You can hear me? You can't hear her? Okay. AJ, you're muted somehow. You got muted. You can't hear us? I'm going to remove her and bring her back up. Can you hear us, AJ? You're muted. Check your Bluetooth, is that what they're saying? All right. Well, we'll say goodnight to AJ. I hope that comment wasn't too creepy for you, AJ. Some of our Ask Bob I think he was hitting on you. She just disappeared. See, now she's gone. Now she's like, get me out of here. I'm muted and this guy's hitting on me in the chat. I liked her. She was great. I hope she calls it again. Here she is. Are you there? Can you hear us, AJ?
Yes. My friends
Yes,
know
we
me.
can hear you again.
My friends know
Yeah,
me.
you
I always
muted
have
yourself.
Bluetooth devices popping up around and
Oh.
connecting to my stuff.
Did you see? I think Ask Bob was trying to hit on you. You see this?
Oh.
He says, AJ, can I have my heart after I pass?
Thanks.
Thanks. I'm giving him. He's one of my. I love him in the chat, but that was a little. I don't know.
No, I'll take organs. It's fine. We're taking organs
take
right
his
now.
organ-
We're really looking for kidneys, type O negative. But if we're giving out organs, I'll take it.
Thank you, Megan. Too. She says you're so lovely, and she says she loves it here. Thank you so much, Megan.
I love
Thank
Megan.
you, Ask Bob too. I gave Ask Bob a little trouble, but it's Kinetics fan. I don't want to lose Ask Bob. He's a good guy. He's always here. If anyone is negative blood type or knows someone who is, please reach out about the kidney donation. Thank you so much. Oh, we also have Brian. I was going to wrap up the show, but Brian from LTL is here now. We got to bring him up. I want to thank all the super chatters. Megan, Stephanie, thank you. Thank you, Vanessa. I got to make sure I read them all tonight so no one gets mad at me like last night. Glazed and confused, thank you.
You're in trouble, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard when you have guests. You have 180 something super chats. That's a really great problem to have.
I have ADHD, so I wouldn't be able to balance it all. I don't know how you
Yeah,
do it.
I have a hard time, especially knowing I got to go walk a dog at 9 p.m. every night. So it's like I got to get done. I got to get done. Brian, you ever run into that problem where you have so many super chats that you can't read them all?
I hope to have that problem someday.
It's like first world problem, right?
But
I don't have that
appreciate-
problem
Right.
tonight.
But I appreciate everything that we get through the channel, and if I can give back to the community in some certain way, I certainly make that happen. So
You have. Thank you for calling in tonight. I guess I don't know what happened to him. He didn't show up tonight.
So did you see this quote by Brennan? What the new stick is now? Let me read this to you. So Brennan is saying that I'm going to read this is from a WZVB article here. It says, in fact, Brennan is now accusing the defense of having a murky relationship with the U.S. Attorney's Office and the federal investigation. He argues that the defense provided its select material without input from the prosecution, and that is not known what material was given to ACA. That is his argument now.
How does he know if it's a murky like?
Right.
How does he know? Oh, always
He just says
speculation
things.
with this guy.
What? He just says things. It doesn't make any sense. It's ridiculous. He should be ashamed of himself as a alleged attorney to just you can't do that. It's very confusing to me.
I've been saying this on my shows the last couple of nights, and actually the last couple of weeks. I think he just has a 10-pound bag of shit and he throws it against the wall and sees what's going to stick. You know, that's basically his tactic. And he's a snake and he's a liar, and he'll throw words out, or he'll throw, a scenario out and he'll pull it back and change it and kind of go this direction with it. It's going to be an interesting trial. But I keep saying, I think Alessi is going to be a great matchup for one Hank Brennan, and of course AJ. I think they're just going to crush this guy.
Did you hear any of the Bettero interview last night talking about Brennan and Canoni?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it, and I know some other lawyers have been speaking up. Some more law tubers have been speaking up about their their behavior and their antics. And I know a lawyer was speaking out, and he's usually pretty neutral. But he's been speaking out again about it lately, which is interesting.
I mean, last night was the first time I've ever heard Bettero swear at our show.
Yeah,
I mean,
he usually is pretty.
He was mad.
Yeah,
I haven't seen him like that before. And a couple times when he couldn't give comment, he just was like,
yeah,
he just sat there. It was like, oh, wow. Like it was just what he didn't say too last night was.
Yeah, we had a fired up Bettero last night, which is
we did.
It's interesting.
I mean, and it's funny because he's playing coy. He's like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be. He kind of like at the end, he was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be doing too many of these shows anymore. And then he's on a show today, like, I after last night, I have a feeling he's just gonna go crazy on everything. Like I just feel like they pissed him off. They pissed him off.
Yeah, we need that.
They went after his reputation. Like, and this guy cares. He's somebody that is ethical.
Yeah.
Cares about his reputation. He cares about what he does. And they tried to sully him. They tried to dirty him up, and they don't even give him the respect to let him defend himself. Like what Canoni and this clown, this Joker, what they did to him without letting him even defend himself publicly. He had to come on this show to defend himself last night. Like that's where it's at. And it's like, oh, so you're gonna do that? Okay. Let's I'd say the thing that they're most scared of him is him in the courtroom. But the second thing is him on all these shows, and I think that I don't know. I think they pissed him off. And I think
I mean, is Hank Brennan gonna start accusing Mark Bettero of talking and telling him, you know what I mean? Like,
yes,
this is ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Good luck to you.
Use
Good
everything.
luck to you.
Yeah.
Good luck to you on that one.
Yeah.
Because
And he's watching. He watches all this shit. So hi, Hanky.
Bettero never got sworn in. You know what I mean? Like you can't gag someone who was never part of the case, right?
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Like try to gag me. Like I'd love
Hank
to see
Brennan's
Bev
watching
Canone
right
try
now.
to gag
Here
one
you
of
go,
us.
Hank. Here you go, Hank.
If Bev Canone ever tried to gag me from afar, it'd be like, no, I don't care. Throw me in jail.
No,
I'm like, you are not gagging me.
It's free speech, First Amendment.
Right.
It was funny. We were going over. I had my friend Lauren in the studio tonight. We were going over the Jennifer McCabe day 2. The whole like you Googled it, you know, that really when she got real snappy at AJ the second day, and she's talking about, oh, you know, and I go out in public and people say things to me, and they're saying things to me when I walk out through the court, you know, when I'm around the courthouse. Well, guess what, Jen? That's free speech. People can do that. You know, we don't encourage it, but people can say stuff to you. You know, it's what it is. You're on the street. You're in public.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, you know, somebody gave out my phone number and called me at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm out on the street and someone calls me a motherfucker, they can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like it, but
yeah,
probably laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be random, but yeah.
Yeah.
You're only
I mean,
offended if you've
my
done
advice,
something.
my advice to her is do what I did, record it and put it online.
Why not?
I mean, when that guy kept calling me at 2:30 in the morning, I stopped answering and let him leave a voicemail, and I put it up on my show, and then he stopped calling.
Because you had his voice out there.
Yeah, because I put the voice on the show. Like,
yeah, I had someone that was a
you had that. Go ahead.
I had someone that was a casual. What do you call that? Like an acquaintance. Thank you. An acquaintance that I knew for like 15 years. He got very upset that I was involved in talking about Karen Reed and that I was on the side of Karen Reed. And he used to Facebook message me all the time, like, dude, like lists of arguments. And it just got so like annoying. So I ended up having to like defriend him, block him. Then he started writing me emails. And the last email he sent me was really threatening. It was like physical. He was going to get physical with me and all this other stuff. I literally wrote him and said, if you contact me again, you will talk to my attorney. Like I will turn you into my attorney and you can talk to my attorney. Everything stopped because of his profession. And he's in a profession of authority. And if his name got out there and I put an public email out, you know, and show what this guy's saying to me, it wouldn't look good on his turning him into his boss in his career. So
Sunlight. Yeah. I mean, that's my advice to any of these so-called witnesses who are so upset. Record it, post it up, post it online, let people see it. You know, they say this a lot, but they don't provide any evidence. It's funny.
Well, they ignore all evidence too, right? Like that's the only way they get to their arguments is by ignoring evidence.
Yeah.
Like Chris Albert says he lost all this business. Like, prove it, dude. He's people would make orders and not pick them up. Really?
Well, it is a mediocre chicken parm, so.
Maybe they looked up on Yelp and they decided they didn't want it.
Is Aiden tomorrow? Karen's tomorrow. Is Aiden tomorrow as well? Is he Wednesday?
9 a.m. I believe. Yeah, from what my understanding. Unless it changed. But I don't think that's going to be televised because it's Stoughton District. I haven't seen anything come out of there in terms of Zoom. I just looked at the website.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even have a way to contact the clerk unless you call. It's just, these courts suck, man.
They're so old school, man.
Yeah. So I don't think we're going to get to see it tomorrow.
It's the Commonwealth.
It's just
Mike, I just wanted to jump on really quick and just say hi. I turned 47 today, so that's fun.
Happy birthday to you. 47, dude. You are getting up there. You're almost as old as me.
Look at the gray.
You're catching up to me.
We're getting the gray, but we're still both we're still both handsome. Still have our looks. That we got the the lens that kind of hides some stuff. So
I got the filter on now. Look at my skin. Doesn't my skin look good? I'm all filtered up.
I'm jealous. I need a filter. Rude.
You just get a real soft lens.
Yeah, get a new camera. They all come with the filters now.
The soft lens.
You get the light right. You get the lighting.
Big thing too. The lighting.
Diffused lighting.
Yes.
Diffused lighting. Really clean up your skin.
Good to know.
But no,
all the tricks. You got a little mascara. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going that far. That was remember in the early 80s or maybe mid 80s when all of a sudden the heavy metal kids were all putting on eyeliner and shit like that.
Yep.
I never did that.
Yep.
I wanted to, but I knew
if
I knew if I did it, my mom would I'd be dead. Dude, she'd be like,
And how about the 80s when all the dudes dressed up like chicks, like Poison and Motley Crue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They put the eyeliner on.
Yeah.
All the dudes.
Makeup,
They had the
lipstick.
parachute pants and the long hair and the
They wore high
eyeliner and the
heels.
earring. Yeah.
And
Hey,
they got all
don't
the
ever do
chicks.
that again.
What's that? Don't ever do that again.
Yeah,
Look,
please.
I never did it. I remember the kid Hayden though. He was all he looked like David Lee Roth, for Christ's sake. Like a high school kid that looks like David Lee Roth.
No, but I wanted to jump up and just say fantastic show last night. Great channel, very successful. I'm proud of all your success. You just keep beating the pavement and you bring up all these great interviews. And I can't say enough nice things about you. And I appreciate the support of my channel. You tweet out, my shows, and you've been in the chats and been a guest on my panel on Thursday. You're going to be over with us. We're going to have Mazza on, me, and Nan. So that's going to be a really great show. And we're going to have probably a lot to talk about considering tomorrow.
Yeah. Is that Thursday at 7? Is that what time
Thursday
it is?
at 7. Yep.
7. So we'll be there. Thursday night, 7, LTL Media. Looking forward to that court tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Karen Reed.
Talk about.
Yeah. And tomorrow night, it's funny because I know everyone's going to be doing a Karen Reed show tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I got the state auditor on the show tomorrow
Yes.
night.
That's going to be great.
So that's going to be 6 p.m. I hope people tune into it.
I'll check in on that one. I want to hear.
Yeah, she might ask. I have a feeling she's going to speak about Michael Morrissey.
Oh, before I go, can I tell you a quick Enrique Delgado Garcia story?
Yes, definitely.
So I'm out today doing my traditional birthday haircut. I always like to get a birthday haircut in the morning. And I walk into my barbershop and I had my appointment set for 10:10. Walk into my barbershop. I had to wait. There's a guy in the chair. And big guy, big, huge, massive guy. And, they're talking and I'm hearing canine and I'm hearing police. And, us, we kind of perk up and try to listen because those are words that are our cues. And I'm hearing state police and I'm hearing academy. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. So now I start tuning in a little bit more. And my barbershop that I go to, a lot of local and state police go there. He's got all the patches up on the wall. Like next time I go, I'll take a picture of it and show it to you. So he's getting ready to wrap up. And guy gets out of the chair, massive, big, tall kid. And I go, you're a police officer. And I'm still sitting in the chair, from across the room, and he's getting his coat and he's trying to pay. And he goes, yeah. And I go, local or state? And he says, state. I go, oh, interesting. When did you graduate? October. And I went, and I literally just got goosebumps. And I went, oh, you were in the class with Enrique? And he goes, yeah. And when I said that, his face kind of turned like I did one of these. And now he's kind of ignoring me, trying to cash out, talking to my barber a little bit, kind of fumbling around his jacket. And I go, oh, that's interesting. I said, because I'm a local journalist here in the local area. I've done a lot of reporting on his story. And I said, I do a lot of advocacy work for his family. Now he's not talking to me at all. He's kind of ignored, like he's shut me off. And he's not looking at me anymore. He grabs his coat, goes to walk out the door. He stops. He looks at me and he goes, yeah, it was a shame what happened to him. And then he left. And the heartless response out of that, I was just beside myself. Because when I always go in, my barber is Dominican. He always asks me, hey, what's going on with the Dominican guy at the academy? And I couldn't believe how cold that response was. Yeah, it's just a shame what happened. And I got so pissed. I went home and I called Todd McGee. I was like, you're not going to believe this. Like, I got to tell you the story. He's like, callous. It's crazy. What is the chances of that? Like,
what did your barber say? Your barber notice it or said anything?
Yeah, he goes, I go, see, they ain't saying anything. They're not talking. Because I talk to him about Enrique all the time. I go, look, they're not talking. They're not saying anything. And he goes, yeah, like they don't say anything. And I was like, wow, what was the chances of that? That was just.
What if he was the one that actually was boxing him? Big guy, right?
I mean, It's crazy.
It is.
I got chills when I went October. I went October. He graduated with him. So I was gonna push him a little bit. And I said, Enrique, I should have said, what the fuck happened to him? But I didn't want to get into a, I didn't want to go back and forth. So
You
crazy.
got balls too. It's funny because when you're in their presence and there's still a power. I mean, these guys carry guns and they got badges. So
yeah. But yeah, so that happened today. That was interesting.
Wild. You're the right guy in the right place, Brian. I'm so glad that you're still on this.
It's weird. It was freaky. It was like, gah, really? That just happened? But anyway. All right, Mike, I'll let you close up shop.
Thank you for being here. I'll see you on Thursday night. LTL at 7 p.m. with Dan Gallagher, Mazza Media, myself, and you'll be hosting. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, buddy. Bye, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good night, Brian.
Peace.
LTL Media, make sure you follow him for us. I want to thank AJ for being here tonight. I want to thank Bonnie, Carolina. There were some other people too called in. I think for her name, she was good too. We had a few people call in tonight.
I saw that someone posted that Tiff got out of surgery.
Yes. OB says Uncle Frank is out of surgery and in recovery. It went well. God.
Great.
And again, she's an RN. She's a nurse. We just hope the best for her. She's young and she's been through so many surgeries. It's like, I was talking to Jimmy. I said, how serious is this? She's going to be okay. And he's like, oh, nothing she can't handle. She's been through this a million times. It's like, that's not good though. Like, it's like, man, you shouldn't have to live your life like that. Unfortunately, some of us do. It sucks. I've been through surgeries. I hate them. I had cancer at like the age of 20, I don't know, 22, 23. And it just sucks, man. All that stuff. I've had, back problems and knee surgeries. And for me, I hate it. I dislike even like day surgery in and out. I just can't deal with it. I don't know how people spend weeks in the hospital. I just like I don't know. What do you call that? Like your phobia or I just don't ever want to be there. I just, hopefully she gets out as soon as possible. What is it?
I said, I don't think anyone does. It's not great. Have you tried DDP yoga yet?
No. I'm at Dallas Page.
Yeah, it works.
Does he have something online?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's all online.
Yeah. I just
there
don't
are
have
actually
time.
People who really like swear by it.
Oh yeah. I keep telling my girlfriend, she's got more time than me. Like, go to yoga. Do yoga. That's, if I had the time, I'd be doing yoga all the time. I would definitely do it. I just don't have time. I'm too like all out right now. Maybe in April, May, June. There's going to be some months coming up in the summer where I'm going to get bored because I've cut back on my dog business. And when the slow season hits and then Karen Reed is over, I'm just going to be sitting here going, what the hell do I do? Which is going to be so weird, but it's coming. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe that's when I'll do my yoga.
Yeah. You got to take care of yourself too.
Yeah. Best thing I have going for me is I walk dogs. You know what I mean?
True.
Like
it does get you up and
gives
moving.
me such a stretch and keeps the weight off, keeps me out of the office, no commuting. I love it. Good for my lifestyle. I'm happy she's out. I hope she recovers quickly. I'm so glad you called in, AJ.
Yeah.
Do you have any final thoughts tonight that you want to talk about too?
No, just pray for Tiffany and fuck Hank Brennan.
All right. Piece of crap he is.
A weasel.
He is a weasel. So funny. Every statement just proves it. Because Brian called him out tonight. So true. We'll see. I have a feeling. I just have this sneaky feeling that they're gonna regret that they effed with Betterow. I don't know how it's gonna turn out, but I just have that feeling somehow, some way. I wouldn't have with Betterow. Just wouldn't do it.
Everything's gonna bite them. Absolutely,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Same with Karen too. What do you think? Let me ask you this, AJ. Do you think they're actually going to put Aiden Carney on the stand? I think they'll call him. I'm probably the only one that thinks they're crazy enough to do it.
I think they're crazy enough to do it if they had something substantive to the case. I don't think anything that they would want to ask him that they actually could. Especially
about,
since they had the no true bill. Like, there's just stuff that hasn't been proven. If there's not facts to it, it seems like a waste of time. It seems dangerous, but I think mostly it's a move to keep him out of court. They just want to fuck with him every turn they can. Even being able to throw this most recent thing there, that's, baseless. It's so ridiculous. Like, all the charges are ridiculous, but they just use it as long as they can, and they love fucking with him, and it's because he's effective. So it really sucks, but I hope they can fight and somehow get him to be able in the courtroom. It'd be a real shame if he wasn't able to be in there.
I just, for some reason, I feel like they're gonna try to use those messages against him and be like, "You and Karen have been harassing witnesses," and I don't know why. I feel like
That
they're
is
actually gonna
true.
go for it.
The only way
I
that
do.
they would be able to get it in is if him or Karen would get on the stand, and they can't guarantee that Karen's going to get on the stand. She'll make that decision,
Yep.
when she
So then
needs
they put
to.
Turtle Boy on. They put Aiden on. That's how I feel like they're gonna go at it. We'll see. We'll see.
They are crazy.
I mean,
they do shit that shocks us all every day, right? So I don't know.
Someone said this. They're gonna try to get the judge tomorrow to apply a gag order to Turtle Boy and Mark.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
I mean, I could see them gagging Turtle Boy if he's a witness.
But he's
But
a
I don't think
journalist.
I don't think that's going to work. I think the judge is even going to see through that. But how do they gag Mark Betterow when he's not
I don't think they
an attorney
can.
involved in the case that's before her? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't
she
think they
can't.
can.
Yeah, she can't gag Mark Betterow. That makes no sense to me. Like, that's impossible. If that happens, that would be insane.
Yeah, it's we forget, but Mark's brought the point up before, is the Constitution's there for us. Our rights come first. We dictate how the government is supposed to treat us. So we need to stand on that ground. That's part of why this case is so important. Karen is an amazing person, and she is a great beacon to be the person in this position. For better or worse, it's where she is. It couldn't be a better person. But it's not just about her. It is about what they are doing to her, and about how they are running our justice system. And we keep seeing it pop up over and over. Well, this one has gotten enough attention to get a massive group of people saying, "Hey, this isn't right. This isn't how the United States is supposed to run." And it's not. We forget that all these things were put in place, the court systems were put in place to make sure that the government didn't run over us. And that's exactly the position we've allowed them to be in before. So people really need to think about it from that aspect. Is these are our rights. This is our Constitution as individual peoples, as a part of the United States, and really stand in that, and really honestly learn the law. We have Google. Go online and learn your rights.
Absolutely. Going to be wild to see what happens tomorrow in court.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's
gonna be more. We're going to get more annoyed at Brennan and the judge.
God.
Yeah. They're loving you in the chat. I want to thank you, AJ, for calling in tonight. Would you call in again another time, or
Yeah,
are you on
absolutely.
Twitter? Are you on X?
I am. I don't tweet a lot, but I'm there.
Hit me up so I know who you are. I want to make sure that I can get in touch with you again.
Yeah, for sure. I'm one of Benson's mods and a part of her.
Oh, Olivia Benson's mod?
Yeah, so I'm a part of her group.
What are you on YouTube? What's your handle, if you don't mind me asking?
It's AJ Arceniegas. I'm not sure if you'll be able to spell that.
Jay what?
AJ Arceniegas. ARCINIEGAS.
Okay. Now I know who you are. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm currently going under the name of Sherlock Ho because I'm undercover for something, but but that is my handle that stays attached to it, is the AJ one.
He said, AJ for co-host. Glenn, like one of our biggest supporters of Bruce.
Thanks, Glenn.
Hopefully, I didn't scare off Jess Bob. I was giving him a little shit because he was one of his comments tonight. We're not mad at him, are we? We're not mad at us, Bob, are we? No.
No, I think
It's okay.
offering an organ is very sweet.
Yeah, you were offering a heart. That's not too bad. There it is. All right. I want to thank you so much for being here, AJ. This
Yeah,
was
thanks for
great that
having
you
me on,
called in.
Mike.
I really appreciate this. And like you said earlier, we're thinking about and praying with Tiffany. She's out of surgery. Apparently, Olivia Spencer has given us the update on that. And let Olivia Spencer know I want to come on her show too. Please, AJ, let her know.
We will. We'll harass both of you. Don't worry about it.
Perfect. Looking forward to it. Thank you for being here. Please come back. Please call
Thank
in
you.
again.
I will.
You're a pleasure to. I would take your call anytime that anytime.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for calling in. I want to thank all of our super chats tonight. Dance Kinetic fan, Ask Bob, Megan, thank you. Thank you so much for all the super chats tonight. Unbelievable. Slipped up my beans. Megan Easton, Stephanie, thank you. Thank you, Vanessa 0614. Thank you, Glazed and Confused. Like my carrots. My carrots are glazed and confused. People didn't like the carrots and the chicken wings. Dance Kinetics fan, thank you. Mia Bito. And thank you, Christina. Thank you so much. I want to thank Carolina for calling in. I want to thank AJ. We had some good calls tonight. I want to thank all the callers tonight. You bailed me out. I don't know when I'm gonna check my Twitter. I haven't seen. Let's see if he hit me up. I don't have no idea what happened to him. Yeah, I never heard back from the happily angry lawyer. Maybe we need to send out a search party. I got a message from someone looking for Karen's Venmo account. I don't even know what it is. Do you guys know what Karen's Venmo account is? I'm reading some private messages from Joe Flipahead. So funny. we got Joe Flipahead because of last night. He sent us a private message with a picture of himself. Says on the last day he's gonna post it. He doesn't want us to post it yet. That's funny. So funny. All right, I'm gonna go. I want to thank everybody. You know what? I want to check Venmo because I think I maybe missed some Venmos. Let me just check. Pam B sent $5 last night for the 3M. She says love. Thank you so much. Not sure if I thanked her last night. Alice also sent $50 last night. Thank you so much, Alice. I know I think Barry and Tracy and Barbara as well. So thank you everybody who gave the generous donations last night on Venmo. Also want to thank Alma. The Alma actually got blocked in the chat. I'm not sure why I unblocked her. She sent $10. She said she was upset. Oh man, I hope people don't cry about super chats, please, and don't cry if you get blocked accidentally. If it's not a big deal, just send us a message. She sent us a message. We unblocked her. Hopefully she'll be back. Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Elaine as well. All right, I'm headed out. I'll be back tomorrow night at 6 p.m. with Massachusetts State Auditor Diana DiZoglio. I think we're going to talk about Michael Morrissey for a little bit tomorrow night too, with Diana DiZoglio, the Massachusetts State Auditor. Oh, there she is, Shirley Coe. That's AJ. She's great. I loved her. She was so good tonight on the show. Thank you so much for calling in. Yeah, she is a good co-host. She was very co-host like. Okay. And anyone looking to send Karen Reed some money. Apparently, this is her Venmo, and I've seen this before. I believe it is. Let's look it up right now. Let's just make sure. That is her Venmo. So, Karen-Reed-1. Thank you so much. I knew I could ask the chat, and they would tell me. So I would have to look it up. All right, I'm headed out. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you so much. And I'll see you tomorrow night at 6 p.m. with state senator. I said state senator. She used to be a state senator. State auditor. Massachusetts state auditor Diana DeZoglio here tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Answering questions about the audits she's doing, trying to audit the state legislature. And we're also going to talk probably about Michael Morrissey, too. I'm looking forward to that tomorrow night, 6 p.m. I'll see you then. Have a great night, everyone.